Say cheese. It was a hot day on the island of Sodor, and Henry was grumbling as he rested at the big station. Delayed! Delayed every day! They should arrest them all for trespassing. What's your issue today? Said James. Enthusiasts with cameras are my issue. I try to leave the station, and there's always the ones who get too close. I almost knocked the camera out of one's hand as he leaned over the platform edge. He then thought he had the right to complain. Don't you like attention, Henry? Personally, I love the passengers gawking over my splendid paintwork and shining brass. There's no such thing as too much of my paintwork. The cameras eat it up. You're just being silly, Henry. You need to understand what fame is. Maybe you should stay in the shed from now on. James then headed back home. He was feeling rather tired after his long passenger train. Ah, now I can have a rest, he said to himself. But it wouldn't be. Just then, the fat controller walked up to him. James, he said. Yes, sir. I need you to take a cattle train to Crovan's Gate. A cattle train? You mean filthy, dirty, disgusting cows? Yes, James, cows. Now get going. Oh, yes, sir. James puffed to the yards where he found Percy. I believe these are for you, James. I wish they weren't. Well, they are. James backed down onto the cattle train, and the guard blew his whistle, and he was ready to go. Cattle trucks, it's disgraceful. That's what it is, disgraceful. James carried on down the line, puffing through the beautiful countryside. He was nearly at his destination when a signal ahead turned red. Bother! Nearly there too. As James was waiting at the signal, a man with a camera, eager to snap a photograph of his favourite engine, climbed the fence and ran down to James. Just then the signal turned green, and James was about to leave when suddenly the man was on the line. What the? Oh, could you smile for me? Say cheese! Get off the line, said James. But the tourist wouldn't budge. James's fireman climbed down and walked back to the signal box to call the police. While they waited, the section of line was shut down. James couldn't even get his cattle to Crovan's Gate. Soon, the police arrived, and the man ran. As he tried to climb the fence, he tripped and busted his camera. And it was all for nothing. Soon, the signal dropped, and he could continue. That night, at the sheds, the other engines were laughing about James's predicament. Fancy that! Stopped by lunatics with cameras. I thought you loved enthusiasts walking over you, James. I do, but... What's that, James? We can't hear you. Listen here, it's bad enough I'm on a cattle train. A cattle train! Then I get stopped at a signal. Then a buffoon with his camera tries to take a photograph without asking, and then he jumps the fence. Then he takes my photograph and asks me to smile. At least your photographers stay on the platform, Henry. Then there was silence. No one said a word. Not Henry, not Edward, not Donald, or even James. They all stayed respectably silent.